Tucker Carlson, open borders means the death of young Americans, but Biden doesn't care. Tucker Carlson Tonight, host accuses Biden administration of changing the country to win elections. The pictures from the southern border are shocking, they're also real, so they can't be ignored. In the coming days, you'll hear what's happening at the border described as a humanitarian crisis. That means the migrants are suffering, and they definitely are suffering, and that's sad. But what's sadder is that Americans are suffering too. Open borders have caused a deadly crisis among the very people our government supposedly exists to protect. Close to 100,000 Americans have died of drug overdoses in the last year. These are not 85-year-olds with emphysema in nursing homes. These are kids on your street, young people in the prime of life, our country's future, the next generation. And they are dead now, mostly because of fentanyl that came up through Mexico. So open borders means much more of this poison in your neighborhood, killing our children. Statistics released this week show that as of the end of July, fentanyl seizures at the southern border are more than double what they were for all of last year. Joe Biden did that. Open borders mean many more young Americans will die. Again, Joe Biden did that.
Neither he nor anyone around him cares, however. If 100,000 Afghan refugees died this year of anything, what we'll be talking about is that and only that. CNN would do a special every week, what happened to the Afghan refugees? That would be the single biggest issue in this country by far. By 100,000 American young people. Joe Biden never even mentions it. He doesn't care. And drugs are hardly the only disastrous effect of open borders. The median price of a new home in this country is now almost 6 times higher than the median American household income. Think about that. That's a record. It's never happened. It's never been more expensive than it is now to buy a house. If you're a young person who is hoping to start a life in this country, that is a disaster. So why is it happening? Lots of reasons. Fed policy for one. By one of the reasons is overcrowding. It's that simple, supply and demand. No one ever mentions it, but since 1990, this country has gained about 100 million people. 100 million. 1990 doesn't seem like that long ago to some of us. Thanks to the lunatics now in charge, this unsustainable growth is accelerating in ways it never has before, ever. Under Joe Biden, hundreds of thousands of immigrants are coming into the United States every single month. So where are they going to live? Where are they going to send their children to school? What about the healthcare they've been promised for free? Have you been to a hospital emergency room recently? You should go. Check it out. Once you see it, you'll understand the future of the Democratic Party is planning for you. Squalid, overcrowded, chaotic, loud. Of course, having created this human disaster, Democrats now claim they have a solution to it. Of course, that's why they created it in the first place, so they could fix it. What's their solution? Amnesty for 8 million. That's what they proposed, and they may very well get it. Republicans are allowing this by and large. That amnesty, you should know, would apparently extend even to violent criminals and gang members. But wait a second, you may be asking. I'm an American. How is allowing MS-13 to choose my government to vote in my elections is going to make my life better? What's in it for me? Well, here's Zoe Lofgren of California to explain. Rep. Kenbuck, this amendment is very simple. It requires that aliens not receive amnesty if they are a gang member. Zoe Lofgren, I must oppose this amendment. As was mentioned before, the effect of the amendment would really be to frustrate the legislative recommendations that are an investment in human infrastructure. The United States will benefit from the resulting economic gains really for decades to come. This amendment would dilute that investment and diminish those economic benefits. And that alone is enough to oppose this amendment. Oh, the economic gains from inviting millions more people who don't have high school diplomas into the country. Nothing against those people. But does any adult really foresee a future in this country where low-skilled labor is the engine of economic growth? That's insane. In fact, it's a lie, shocking even by Washington standards. The Biden administration's plan will ultimately entitle illegal immigrants to the full benefits of citizenship. That's the whole point. That would include Medicaid, Social Security, food stamps, etc., etc., etc. Even as the welfare state expands, the number of people drawing from it expands as well. How's that going to end? The cost of all of this, according to the Congressional Budget Office, will be in the hundreds of billions of dollars in the next few years alone. What about the long term? Some estimates put the cost at well over $1 trillion or more. But that's all justified, according to Zoe Lofgren, because it's human infrastructure. Human infrastructure, that's weird. Humans are not infrastructure, humans are alive, they have souls. There's a difference between people and sewage systems. But not in the eyes of the Democratic Party, there's really not that much difference. They don't care about individuals. Individuals are expendable. That's the mindset of every revolutionary through history. People are a means to power. So to our leaders, illegal immigrants have a very specific functional purpose. They are a tool to change the country forever and ensure permanent democratic control over our government. They look at the numbers. If you were born in this country and you don't have a high school degree, you're not voting for them. You don't like what they're doing. They don't want to change your mind. They can't be bothered. So they're going to bring in new people without high school degrees. Got it? It's changing the country in order to win elections. So if this passes, millions of people who came to this country illegally, who by definition don't care about our laws or law and order, that's why people from January 6th are still in solitary confinement, cause they didn't believe in law and order. But the people who care deeply about law and order are welcoming millions who clearly don't buy our system because they're breaking our laws the day they get here. The only point of this is to make the Democratic Party more powerful. That's why it's not simply Zoe Lofgren who's talking about human infrastructure. The Biden administration is talking about it, too. So is Jerry Nadler, who chairs the House Judiciary Committee. Jerry Nadler, and strikes the entire immigration title and the important investments in our human infrastructure that it makes. Therefore, I urge opposition to the amendment.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe